Yes.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Bridge Builders of Diversity. Today we are going to be talking about social skills and child development, and especially with the pandemic and kids having to spend an exorbitant amount of time in the home, not being out socializing. I know we did a video on this, but we're going to hit it again because it's very important.
It's really talked about. I'm a special education teacher, and as part of our planning for education and for supporting children, the topic has turned from math and language arts scores to social emotional development because we have spent so much time apart. We are noticing that some of our precious angels are coming to school not ready to deal emotionally.
Right.
They may be on track academically, but socially, emotionally, they're not on track. And we were talking ourselves before we turned the camera on about how social emotional development is like a stair step. It's a lot like physical development or language development. It's really difficult when you skip a step. And I feel like for some children over the last 2 years, they've skipped some steps, and we have expectations that are above where they are.
Right. Yeah, I'm a mother of a child with Down syndrome, and he did okay, but he did fall behind a little bit. But his school is doing active measures to get all the kids. A lot of them fell behind. He goes to the school for the deaf, and my son has he has Down syndrome and delay with fine motor and speech. So, he already struggles with learning anyway. But, this is a topic that keeps coming up, and I had his program coordinator for his in-home care yesterday, who was a social worker, and we were talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, we really need to do another video on this because this is a hot topic for many parents who are struggling, because their kids are a little behind because of all the lockdowns.
You might notice like maybe a regression in skills, maybe revisiting behaviors that were not so pleasant before. You might see some anxiety that you didn't see before, or aggression that you didn't see before, and this is because they've skipped a social developmental step. Mm-hmm. And the good news, the light at the end of the tunnel, is that these skills can be explicitly taught. Yep. We can sit down and have conversations with children about what to do in social situations. There are so many excellent programs out there, but the bottom line is you really don't have to spend money on a program if you just take the time to have serious, honest conversations.
Right. And if you are having serious issues with your child, reach out to the pediatrician, reach out to a professional in your local area. We only speak from experience.
Exactly. And your child's teacher is going to be a wealth of information because there is a big drive in education now to prepare teachers to teach social emotional skills, because it is a nationwide
problem.
Issue. Yeah. I'm going to call it a problem. It is a problem. I don't like saying it's a problem because it's
a problem that can be solved.
It's an absolutely solvable problem. Right. And also there's tons and tons of children's literature out there that explicitly addresses social emotional learning, specific skills like talking back or using manners or what to do when you want to play.
And I think certain age groups might have been affected more than others.
Oh, I feel that definitely that younger children are much more affected and are showing a lot of signs of being afraid to leave the house.
Right, because my older son, who was in high school, did fairly well. There's no issues with his school. He was able to pick right back up into social skills and stuff, but he had already learned those skills because...
Right. He'd already gone through that.
Also, and even my nephew, who's in middle school, he did fine too.
Do you think, and I'm just posing this question because it just came to me, but do you think that's because older children were better able to stay in touch
Yes.
with their friends using technology like
Right,
FaceTime
because
and
like
Zoom.
the youth of today, they don't really hang out that much. Like they hang out playing video games online.
They all hang out in like the cyberverse.
They hang out in the
opposed-
cyberverse. So I know my oldest son at that time had asked me if he could purchase some game, probably that his friends were playing. And, you know, if that's something you can afford to do, if the circumstance ever happens again, that was a great way for him to stay in touch with his friends.
So he stayed connected to his friends
Right.
because of the game. That's really great. And also younger children like under 7, they don't learn well in the abstract. Their learning really is hands-on,
Right.
interpersonal. In the 3rd and 4th dimension, they need to be able to touch and experience, and it. So Zoom and those other platforms of communication were very confusing for them. I know,
Right.
I'm so sick of it.
I know it was tough on
As
some
we sit
teachers.
As we sit here in front of a device, communicating to people in the cyberverse, but I think it was very confusing for them.
Yeah.
And they because they couldn't touch it, smell it, taste it,
Yeah.
experience it. And
Human beings are very tribal and need
we're
community.
very social, very cooperative. We're designed to be together and to work together. And that, like a lot of children, that's really their learning style.
Right.
Is to hash it out with a friend. So
and maybe some tips, like, you know, if kids are struggling in your school systems or whatever, you know, talk to the director or the principal of the school, and maybe you can come up with some social programs for either after school or a Saturday program or a summer program where the kids can still get together and work on their social skills.
Right, because as a parent, you have a very strong voice in your school community. Never undersell yourself and say, "Oh, I'm only a parent," because the
Parents rule.
I prefer to think of it as working cooperatively, but excuse this, tomato. You have a very strong voice, and if you can think of something, better yet, if you can volunteer, your parent teacher organization is probably looking for ways and looking for people that can help to support our students, our children, as we move forward after our separation. So
absolutely. So if you like our content, please like and share it to our channel. Also comment down below. And
if you want to hear about anything specific, if you want to hear more about social emotional learning, we can take a dive into that. Anything you want to hear about, I'm a teacher, she's a parent. Together, we're bridge builders of diversity, bridging the gap between people with disabilities and the typical community.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. Don't forget to smash all those buttons.
I was just going to say that. Smash that button.
Smash all those buttons.
Hashtag social emotional development.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
See you in the next video, guys.